listen, did nobody ask, did nobody check him for no steroid? I said, he had quick hands, he would hit. I said, why y'all ain't checking for steroid? He ain't checking steroid. And then,
you think he was on steroids?
Of course he was on steroids.
What we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids.
Responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for
boxing legend Evander Holyfield has stirred the boxing world, throwing down a bold challenge and questioning Canelo Alvarez over potential steroid use. With tensions already high ahead of the Canelo versus Terence Crawford super fight, Holyfield's comments have sparked a wave of controversy and heated debate across the boxing community.
Mexican boxing fights of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off
You think
steroids.
He's on steroids?
Of course. How
sure.
does five?
You saw De La Hoya call him out.
Five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
While Holyfield stopped short of a direct accusation, he has long been vocal about the need for tougher penalties on fighters caught using banned substances. Back in 2018, after Canelo tested positive for clenbuterol, Holyfield famously stated that athletes who use PEDs should face jail time, suggesting these people should be in jail for 30 days to protect the integrity of the sport.
Alvarez failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May, and he's blaming Mexican cows. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight, and he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight, standard operating procedure. This time he popped for a substance called clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally, cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat. He's not a cheater. I did not intentionally take clenbuterol. Problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico where some of the cattle are being injected with clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States, even some places in the United States, will use clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because his training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm an athlete who respects the sport and this surprises me and bothers me because it had never happened to me. I will submit to all the tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation, and I trust in the end the truth will prevail." So far, the fight with Gennady Golovkin is still on. He's still dead set on making that fight.
Floyd Mayweather has also stepped into the conversation, accusing the boxing world of having a double standard when it comes to steroid use, especially for Canelo Alvarez. Mayweather argues that while some fighters face relentless scrutiny, stars like Canelo receive leniency because of their marketability and status. According to Floyd, this favoritism damages boxing's credibility, allows certain fighters to escape accountability, and ignores the serious health risks PED use poses.
What we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. They don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights. Canelo, and the list goes on and on about athletes that's been cheating.
Been accused of cheating or been proven?
No, been proven too.
It's been proven.
Oh, with Canelo. Oh shit.
This been proven.
Lance Armstrong.
Okay.
And then Canelo talking about it was the steak that it was the meat that he was eating. So okay, now you eating. I guess now you're eating steroid cows. Man, these boys kill me.
Adding more fire to the situation, David Benavidez has openly accused Alvarez and his entire team of steroid use. He questioned why Canelo continues to avoid fighting him if he's truly confident, especially given the number of positive steroid tests linked to Canelo's camp. Benavidez didn't mince words, saying Canelo's team is dirty and pointing to multiple failed drug tests as proof.
When the greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time, bro, dude popped dirty for clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So, for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen. But that was Canelo off of steroids. Everybody else that he fought Amir Khan, he fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought what the f is his name? Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. These guys are all weak, bro. So for me, that's why I feel like I see Canelo Alvarez and I see like he's not as good as everybody thinks. Because the best one that fought Golovkin that first time was off clenbuterol. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen, and that's why he looked so good, because he was off clenbuterol. So with the Canelo, he even got suspended for like 7 months.
So it's guaranteed he was
guaranteed he took it. He said that he ate meat that was tainted in Mexico.
Now, let me ask you that question.
I've talked to people. They said for him to test positive off a piece of meat, he would have had...
Eddie Reynoso's gym, where Canelo trains, has faced ongoing scrutiny for doping scandals. Several fighters under Reynoso's guidance have tested positive for banned substances, and critics argue this pattern raises serious concerns about the gym's environment and oversight. With Canelo's fight against Crawford drawing near, many observers are closely watching his physical transformation.
Serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not gonna get up. If I was 210 now at 50...
Analysts have pointed out that it's rare and extremely difficult to gain significant muscle mass naturally in one's 30s. Yet Canelo Alvarez now appears visibly larger than in past years, fueling suspicion. This comes against the backdrop of Reynoso's gym's controversial history, where multiple fighters have tested positive for PEDs. These connections have led some to doubt the authenticity of Canelo's size and conditioning heading into the Crawford fight.
Muscle as if I'm juicing. If for a 30-year-old, right? You remember, your body grows. Men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, you know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30.
The debate reached an even wider audience when Joe Rogan discussed it on his Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Rogan highlighted Canelo's previous clenbuterol suspension and the ongoing speculation surrounding his physique and performances. He stressed the importance of transparency in boxing and the responsibility athletes have to uphold the sport's integrity. As fight night approaches, many fans say they're not shocked by the latest accusations, viewing them as consistent with past controversies in Canelo's career.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak and is going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it. He's pretty much a billionaire. He has access.
Holyfield has also expressed deep admiration for Terence Crawford's exceptional boxing abilities, particularly his remarkable power and versatile fighting style. He praised Crawford's ability to switch seamlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances, making him unpredictable and forcing opponents to constantly adjust their strategies. Holyfield even likened this adaptability to life itself, where survival depends on continuous adaptation.
Left-handed and right hand. How do you deal with someone like that?
Well, I don't know. Did nobody switch up on me a lot, so it's hard for me to say, but I know life is about adjustment. You have to make adjustment. To be successful, adjustment is always gonna be the difference between how far you gonna go.
And this is the last one, because I just thought of something. Obviously, Fury Usyk, a lot of people are talking about for undisputed. You were a smaller guy, and you almost beat. A lot of people thought you beat Nikolai Valuev, who's even taller. Even taller than Tyson Fury. How does a small guy Usyk defeat a tall guy like Tyson?
Crawford's longtime trainer Brian Bomac McIntyre has echoed this confidence. He insists their training camp has been meticulous, leaving no stone unturned. While he acknowledges Canelo's size and skills, McIntyre believes Crawford's adaptability and fight IQ will be the keys to overcoming the challenge of facing a naturally larger man.
Confident that he's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team. So, the world can see once again why he considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
There was many a time where he was maybe struggling to get certain fights, and then he had to almost kick that door down. Is it nice to see him sort of getting the fruits of his labour now and getting that generational wealth off the back of what is, obviously it's a hard career boxing, you don't get given anything?
Definitely that. Definitely good to see him get, like you say, fruits of his wealth. Get me fights that, again, will show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. Show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. I'm just happy for him, man.
Nico Ali Walsh, grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali, has also offered insight into Crawford's preparation. Walsh revealed that Crawford has been sparring with significantly bigger fighters to get used to the pressure and physicality Canelo will bring. This careful preparation reflects Crawford's dedication to adapting his skills and conditioning for the super middleweight division.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been